In 2021, the influencer industry was valued at a whopping $13.8 billion, and growing. And it's only going to continue to grow as more brands turn to influencer marketing. Influencers, even with smaller followings, can make a ton of cash via YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, blogging, or more. It's clear that regardless of the medium, if you're an influencer, accounting is something you need to pay attention to unless you want to pay hefty fines and fees. If you make money as an influencer, that makes you a small business, and here's what you should know about your influencer accounting needs. As a blogger or influencer, one of the first questions we get asked is, do I need to pay taxes? And the answer is yes. The following types of income may all be subject to tax: gifts, partnerships, promotional ads and posts, and product in exchange for reviews. Small businesses frequently send out free gifts, hoping that influencers will post about the product. An agreement for gifts as a blogger or influencer can range from promoting a product online, talking about a product, or wearing or using the product. Bloggers and influencers who receive gifts often don't realize that they may have to pay taxes on them. The amount you'll pay as a tax will be based on the market value of the product gifted to you. You'll pay taxes for products you review as a blogger or influencer unless the value of the product is under $100. You'll also pay state taxes on your influencer income unless you live in one of the states that does not have an income tax. Influencers work as independent contractors, self-employed workers. This means that companies that pay influencers will not pay the employer tax, but rather the influencer is responsible for both earned income tax and self-employment tax. Influencers will need to allocate money to pay both taxes themselves, making influencer accounting a top priority. This is also a great reason to set up an official, legal business entity for your blog or influencer income. Spending a few minutes with 1-800-ACCOUNTANT's entity formation tool can end up saving you a lot of money in taxes this year and every year you generate income as an influencer. We'll even help you get started for $0. You only pay your specific state fee, which we pass straight through to your state when we file your paperwork. Check it out at the link right here or in the description. An influencer will start to pay taxes after they earn a certain threshold of income. You should remember to track your expenses and income when first starting your business venture to avoid difficulties when it comes time to pay taxes. Influencers start to pay taxes when they earn at least $400 for their business. After you earn $400, you'll include the amount on your tax return, and you'll pay these taxes as a self-employment tax, which is due quarterly. If you've partnered with a brand that's paid you $600 or more, you'll receive Form 1099 NEC to pay your taxes. For payments under $600, you won't receive that Form 1099. Instead, you'll use Form 1040. Just like other small business owners and self-employed folks, influencers can qualify for several tax deductions. These deductions can help you when it's time to pay taxes, but there are two things to know about tax deductions. First, you can only claim a deduction if a business expense is both ordinary and necessary. An ordinary expense is those that are accepted and common in your business or trade. A necessary expense is appropriate and helpful for your business or work. Due to how bloggers and influencers can partner with external companies or industries, you may have different expenses that qualify as ordinary and necessary. Some expenses you can claim as tax deductions are equipment used for work purposes, such as cameras, computers, or laptops, marketing campaigns and materials, and office costs. There are additional deductions you may qualify for. Some of the most common tax deductions for influencers include clothing, education, home office, subscriptions and supplies, and travel expenses. Clothing is a major tax write-off for a fashion influencer. However, before you plan your next shopping spree, you need to remember that you must be able to prove a piece of clothing's necessity for accomplishing your job as an influencer. You can write off expenses related to online courses and seminars if you use them to improve your blog business. If you've used subscriptions to online media for blogging, you can also claim these expenses as tax deductions. The third deduction you can claim is for your home office expenses. As a blogger or an influencer, home office expenses can quickly add up. You can qualify for deductions for multiple expenses based on your percentage of work usage for business equipment, cameras and digital memory cards, cell phone and landline usage dedicated to your business, computer upgrades and computer equipment depreciation costs, copier, toner, and printer ink, PC equipment used for blogging. The fourth deduction is for supplies and professional service expenses. You can claim tax deductions for different aspects of your work, such as business-related licensing and software fees, data storage fees, domain fees and hosting fees, public internet access fees, stock photo purchases, website and graphic design fees, bookkeeping and accounting services. And finally, you can also claim tax deductions for your travel expenses. This may include airline tickets and train tickets if used to travel for work-related activities. You can also claim tax deductions for different travel expenses up to a certain amount in certain categories like blog conferences, fees and registration, entertainment, lodging. You can't combine this with meals. Meals during conferences, 50% of the cost, which you can't combine with lodging. Transportation, like car rental, flights, shuttles, taxis, and vehicle expenses. The line between business and personal can get a little murky when it comes to writing off expenses for influencers. If you're unsure of whether or not something qualifies as a business expense, your best bet is to work with an accountant. Working as an influencer can be an awesome side hustle. It might even completely replace your full-time income. However, it's critical that you keep your influencer accounting needs in mind so you avoid late fees and hefty tax bills. If you're a blogger or an influencer, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to invest in a professional accounting service. The pros at 1-800-ACCOUNTANT are experts in small business taxes, including influencers. We'll handle your influencer accounting needs so you can focus on expanding your online presence and growing your business.